Hello everybody, Dave here from Charest Studios, and today I wanted to share with you about rosemary and propagating hydroponic rosemary. And now some of you have seen this. This is one of my hydroponic rosemary plants right here, and I love rosemary, and I felt that one plant really isn't enough because it's kind of a slow growing plant. It's in the mint family, but it's more of like grows more like a shrub. It's got anti-inflammatory antioxidants, so it's healthy. It's a healthy thing. It also has just the smell of it alone has cognitive boosting abilities, or so they say. And it does smell. It does really have a great smell that kind of does feel like it lifts you up a little bit. Anyway, it also has antimicrobial properties. So there are rosemary extracts sometimes you might see as an ingredient in your packaged foods as a preservative, because antimicrobial, it helps prevent the bacteria from growing. So anyway, it's a wonderful plant, and I wanted to have more of it. So a few weeks ago, I took some cuttings. I actually cut this all down. It was all, it was probably, all of it was like that much, like 4 or 5 inches taller than it is now. And I dried some of it out, but I put 3 sprigs in this little shot glass. And you can see that they've started to grow roots. And so now they're ready to be transplanted. I think it was around 2 or 3 weeks, probably closer to 3 weeks. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna plant them 2 different ways because I want to show you my simple way that I love to do things, and then I'll show you the more traditional way with the net cup and clay pebbles. So what I have here is a 1-quart jar, but since we're using a wide mouth jar, if the plant ever outgrew this quart jar, I could simply unscrew this lid with the plant in it and put it onto this size jar, which is the 1/2 gallon. Now that's the largest one they make, is the 1/2 gallon. But anyway, so what I have here is I drilled a 1/2 inch hole, and this is the same size as my grow pipe. And so I have these little grommets, which I'm just gonna fit right into there. And that'll leave me with about a 1/4 inch hole. So I'm just gonna fit this in there. It's pretty easy. You just want to make sure that on both sides it's pretty well locked in. Yeah, this hole might have been a little bigger than a 1/2 inch because it's moving around a little bit, but it's fine. It won't come out. And when the plant gets big like this one, the stem will be actually bigger than that hole, but that's okay because it has room to expand a little bit. And this one is over a year old, and the stem didn't get much bigger than, a 1/2 inch. Plus, I've seen these 1/2 inch holes take plant stems up to 1 inch, where they just grow on top of it like 1 inch round, and then beneath it will be, the roots will go down still. So anyway, guys, this one, we're just going to plant up that way. So all I'm going to do is fill up my nutrients. And I have just 1 teaspoon per gallon in here now. And when I started my cuttings, I started them in just plain water. But then I about a week into it, a week and a half into it, I said, why don't I put a little bit of Maxi Grow in there just to help things along a little bit. And so I did. And it did seem to help. So now these all have roots on them. But this is how easy it is, guys. We're just going to try to tuck these in without hurting any of them. Oh, we broke a little bit off, but that's okay. Now, we haven't got enough water in there, enough solution in there, so we're just going to add a little more. And because this is floppy, I'm going to add it. Now, the roots look like they're intact. Yeah. And this will straighten itself up, I believe, or we could make a little thing for it, a little what do you call it? But I think it will straighten itself up. So that's one done the quick and easy way. Of course, you do want to wrap these containers with foil or paint the jar, put the jar in a box, whatever. You don't want light getting to it. I grew these just like that without worrying about the light, simply because I knew they weren't going to be there long enough to grow algae. But now I'm going to do one the regular way. And so I got my little net cup here that fits right into the top of that jar. I'm going to put some clay pebbles in there. And what I want is to have these roots. I probably should just, let me put these back, because I think I should let this sit right almost down into the, maybe just a little bit of clay pebbles in the bottom. I don't want to be having my my nutrient coming up too high, so I don't want to plant it too deep. In other words, I want it to be about how it was in the container that I had it in. So I'm kind of trying to just gauge. I know that it was in about 1 inch deep, so about that much of it was in the solution. So that's what I'm trying to go about that deep there. And then I'm just going to fill up to that point. And I have to add a little solution because my solution is not up there yet. This one, for sure, it will stand up better than the other way with the, with just the hole. But eventually that plant is going to fill that hole up, and that's not even going to be an issue. So we're going to have a little rosemary farm here. Now I'm going to probably give one of these away to somebody if I find somebody who wants one in my family or my friends, because I think 3 of them will be enough for me. And so one thing you want to do, guys, is I don't have my my ring for this is over there, the metal ring that goes on top. So you could just slip that over and put that on now. That'll keep it as it gets bigger from this wanting to flop or anything. Now I'm just going to pour this in there until it's up about halfway on the net cup, because that's where my roots were. And there we go. So now we've got 2. And now the third one I'm going to do the same way as the first one. I'm just going to pop my little grommet in here. And you guys, if you don't have a grommet, just use the hole, just the hole is fine. The grommet gives it a little bit of a protection of the stem, but really just a hole will do. You could also do a hole and then put a piece of electrical tape over it and put a little X in it. Or you could do this in a coffee can with a coffee can lid, plastic coffee can lid. I just drill a 1/8 hole and then put a little X across it so that those flaps can open up, and then just stick my cuttings in there. And that works great too. I think those of you who follow the channel, you've seen me do that quite a bit. And so I will wrap these jars up later, guys. But this one maybe I filled up too much, I don't know. Let's see. So this one, the roots are coming out on the side, so I'm going to try to go in this way. And then straighten it up. And if I find they're too floppy, I don't like the way these are, I can make some kind of a little stick or stand, or put a little skewer in next to them, or, I'll figure out something. But I think generally plants figure out how to straighten themselves up, and they'll, if this thing wants to stay tipped like that, then the plant is just going to start to grow, grow this way as it grows up. So I think that's about it, guys. Here they are. I'll put them all up here where you guys can see them better. So that's the 3 different ways. I will come back in one of my videos and we'll take a look at, if it does better one way or another, or if it matters. I have a feeling that, you know, it's not, they're going to do equally well under either circumstance, because they're going to have the same light and the same nutrient. Although I do have to find a place to put them so they get the same light. Rosemary is very cold hardy too, guys. So, you know, if you want to put it out in your breezeway or something, it's good down to like 20 degrees, you know, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, so as long as, but you do need that light, you know. But yeah, anyways, I encourage you guys to, you know, if you have some rosemary going, take some cuttings, or if not, this was actually a plant I bought at the store in one of those little pots, and I just kind of scrubbed off the dirt that wouldn't fit in the net cup, and then jammed it into a net cup and dropped it into this jar where it's been. It'll be a year, you know, probably around June. Anyway, that's about it for today, guys. I hope you're all doing well, and hope all your crops are doing good. Anyway, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.